Hey guys, welcome to a landing tutorial in Flight Simulator X. We are going to be flying the Cessna 152 today, just for training purposes. Right here, this is the Carenado. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Carenado Cessna 152, and it's pretty much the training aircraft that is used in most of North America. I'm not sure about Europe, but where I live, this is the training aircraft that they use. It's a bit smaller than the Cessna 172 and less powerful, of course. We're somewhere in the northwest, but we're at Stark's Twin Oaks. I think that's the little airstrip. It's actually an add-on, a payware add-on by Orbx, and got that a while ago. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. So we're pretty much flying at level flight here, somewhere near the airport. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually open up our GPS here. Let's hop back into the plane. So here we are. We're flying toward the airport right now. The first thing you want to do is open up your GPS, like I said. Shift 3 in the Cessna. And you can see the airport is right on the GPS there. It's 7S3, so that's what we're flying toward. So there you go. That can help you to spot the airport. You know, you can just maintain your heading until you spot it. You know, this is for visual landings, of course. Instrument landings are completely different. I can make a video on that later. But here we go, we have the airport spotted, and what we're going to do is we're going to reduce our speed now, and we're going to lower our flaps with F7 to 10. There are 3 flap settings on this aircraft. And we're going to lower our nose, no abrupt movements. And your best tool, actually, here is the elevator trim, which is that little wheel there below the carb heat. And what that does is it actually maintains your plane's attitude to how you set it, so you can increase it with numpad 7 and or sorry, I think numpad 9 is increasing and decreasing is numpad 7. But yeah, on my joystick it's button 3 and button 4, so it's really convenient like that. So you want to maintain a solid descent profile here. The final approach speed is actually 55 to 60 knots in this aircraft, so we can go ahead and reduce our speed here a bit too fast. There you go. And once we get closer to the airport, we can actually right now we can go ahead and put down flaps 20 right here. And what the flaps do is they increase drag, but they also allow you to maintain your plane's airspeed at a lower speed. For example, at the landing speed, which is about 50 knots, 55, 50. Probably 45 touchdown speed to be more realistic. And without the flaps, your plane will just stall if you try to get down to, for example, 45 or 40. So the flaps are crucial for the landing phase. So there you go, our altitude is slowly but surely coming down here on the altitude meter. It's to the right of the N November 2809 kilo letters there. So now that we're getting closer to the airport, you want to make some slight corrections if needed to line yourself up with the airfield or the airstrip or whatever you want to call it, wherever you're landing. Gonna reduce my airspeed a little more. And I'm descending a bit too fast, so I'm gonna increase my my trim here. So yeah, overall, I love propeller planes. Really calming. Oop, switched the view by accident. So there you go. 700 feet. And now we can go ahead and reduce flaps 30, that's our last flap setting, and that's the flap setting we're obviously going to be using for landing. So now, obviously what you want to focus on, like I said, lining up with the runway, you know, keeping your plane's nose lined up, and your airspeed. That's all you want to worry about, if you're using the trim, of course. There we go. Airspeed is a solid 60, 55, which is a good approach speed. And you want to make corrections, of course. So we are right on the center line. Make some corrections here. Throttle idle, flare, and touchdown. Perfect, and then you want to brake. So what I just did there, let's break it down as I'm texting back to do another circuit here. Let's break that down. So what I did, like I said, I was lining up at the runway and I was focusing on keeping the plane's nose lined up, and was focusing on keeping the plane's airspeed at the correct approach speed, which is 55 to 60 knots. So when you get down about 30 to 50 feet over the runway, maybe 20 feet, 30 to 50 is more for jets actually. Let's keep taxiing here. So once you get down low enough, about as low as I was, you can go ahead and reduce your airspeed to idle. You always want to do that. And what you're pretty much doing is initiating a controlled stall. So your aircraft, when you reduce your airspeed to idle, and you also increase your plane's attitude. So what that means is you pull up your plane, your plane's nose by just a few degrees. You don't want to do it like too abrupt. I'm going to show some other examples here of bad landings. The ones that you shouldn't do, of course, bad flares. That's where pretty much everyone messes up at, is the flare portion of the landing. So yeah, this is pretty much the procedure. Decrease your airspeed, or sorry, your throttle to idle, and then you increase your plane's nose as you flare. It's called the flare, and you don't touch anything. Your plane just kisses the runway. That's pretty much what happens. So now I'm going to show some bad examples of landings here. So a very big mistake is coming in either too slow, like I'm doing right now, or too fast. So pretty much if you come in too slow, I'm going to increase my speed here to show what happens if you land too fast. If you come in too slow, your plane's pretty much going to stall right, like way before the runway, and you obviously don't want that, so that's obviously what's going to happen. And if you come in too fast, with no flaps here, I'm going to show a no flaps landing as well, and you don't use your trim, so you just make movements like this to your plane to try to correct here. This is what noobs do right here. Come in way too fast, 90 knots, and they dive down to the runway. Classic example, diving down to the runway because you're too high, you're too fast. So let's see what's gonna happen here, just to show you. Obviously, I'm not promoting this. This is a bad landing. I'm promoting the other good landing that I showed. There you go. So now we're diving down to the runway. Not even properly aligned, at 100 and something knots. And now what people do is they reduce their throttle to idle because they're like, oh, I'm going too fast. But look, it's not fast enough. My throttle's idle now, and I'm barely able to keep up with the runway here. Now I'm in a flare. Watch what happens when I flare. Whoa! I go back up. Why? Because I'm too fast. Watch, I'm gonna try flaring again. You want a smooth landing, right? Ugh. Oh, but I can't touch down. And then what people do is they just dive down, ending up doing that, going over the runway, and crashing. And you guys, thanks for watching. This is DanTheGreatHD, and I hope you enjoyed this Flight Simulator X video. And if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like the video, leave a like, and obviously leave some feedback if you want. I'll be posting up some more Flight Simulator X content and other games, so make sure to check that out. But yeah, see ya.